back, brothers and sisters of Christ. My name is Brianna, and I'm back with another video. And for today's video is aging is a blessing. Alright, so this is yet another thing that society mocks and acts as if it's a bad thing. To age, to get older. And everyone has been so obsessed with youth lately. And, I get it. We want to feel young. We want to look young. We want to feel good and look good and stuff like that. But, for once, if we take care of our body, our temple, the way that we should, then that could help us feel young and sometimes even look more younger. But however, even if we don't, so what? You know what I'm saying? So what? We're supposed to age. This is a part of life. Be happy and be blessed in any and every growing season in your life that the Lord has given you. Some of us, we panic like, oh my goodness, I'm about to be 30. I don't want to be 30. Oh my goodness, I'm about to be 50. I don't want to be 50. I'm getting old and this, that, and the other. But baby, there's people who didn't even make it to be this age. So be grateful because you are blessed to have seen and experienced life thus far. You know what I'm saying? To have gotten this far in life. And I used to feel the same way. I'm not going to lie. I used to feel the same way about age, all different ages. Before I turned 25, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting old. I'm 25. And then it's like, oh my goodness, I'm approaching 30. And once you become those ages, first of all, you realize that those ages are not even old. We think that everything is old, like we just don't want to get older. Everybody want to be youthful and stay youthful. But getting older and aging is a part of life. And, and I'm not just saying that because I'm getting older, but I'm saying it because I view aging differently now that I have came to the Lord. And y'all gonna hear me say that a lot because I'm ever since I came to the Lord, there's so many things that I view differently than what I did before. Like, I view it differently than the world sees it. I view things differently than how I used to see it before I came to Christ. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you come to the Lord, you just start to view things differently, and you view things how the Lord views things. And to age is a beautiful thing to me, and I embrace it, rather than dreading it. And yeah, I embrace it rather than dreading it because there's people that didn't even live to get to see the age that you're at. You know what I'm saying? There's people that died young. So I just feel like we need to be thankful. We need to be grateful that we are aging and that we are getting older. I just feel like us as humans, we find anything to complain about. You know what I'm saying? If we was to die young, that'd be terrible. We'd be like, oh my goodness, that's terrible. People dying young. But then you live to get older. And I was like, oh, I'm getting older. I got gray. You're complaining about what comes with getting older. But it's a blessing to get older. And I was talking to someone recently about gray hair, and we both agree that gray hair is just beautiful. But this is something that men and women, they go crazy about, and they try to hide it and stuff. And they get so dramatic, like, oh my goodness, I have a gray hair. I'm getting gray hairs, and they plucking them out and all. And don't get me wrong, because sometimes we do get gray hair pretty young because, I already got a few gray hairs. But I don't even care at this point in my life. For one, it's only like a few strands. It's not that noticeable. But, we act like it's as if it's the end of the world to get a few gray hairs. Like, even when you get one little string, people go crazy. And but I recently read Proverbs, and this really has stood out to me, and it's Proverbs chapter 16 verse 31, and it says, gray hair is a crown of splendor. It is attained in the way of righteousness, right? So gray hair is a crown of splendor. A crown of splendor means an achievement to be celebrated. That's what Proverbs says about gray hair. But it is attained in the way of righteousness means this honor comes only if the person has lived a righteous life. So all in all, it's an honor of achievement to have gray hair, ultimately to age, when you have lived a righteous life by the Lord. And my grandmother on my father's side, she has full gray hair. I mean, she's about like, I don't even know how old she is now, like her 80s, I want to say. But she has a full hair of gray hair, and she always has had that since I was young. So I don't know when she got a full hair of gray hair, but she is someone who is close to Christ, who I consider to have lived a righteous life, who is in church and very knowledgeable and have wisdom. And I just think that her hair is beautiful. I always thought that it was beautiful, and I'd be saying, like, when I get older, I hope that I have all gray hair like her, because it's literally tea. Like, it's tea. But old age is described as being respected and should be respected and honored when a person has lived a righteous life by God. It's honored and it's respected. So you're not just old of age. You know, when you have lived a righteous life by God, it's not that you're just old of age, but because you walk with God during your years of life and lived a righteous life, your aging means that you have wisdom and things to offer and teach. You know, to the youth and to the young people, you've been through a lot. You've seen a lot. You know the word of God like the back of your hand. You know, you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge to give to the people, to the youth. So you didn't just grow in age. You don't just grow in age when you walk with Christ, but you grow in godliness and you grow in wisdom, which should be honored and which it should be respected. And you don't lose value when you get older. See, a lot of people, they make little jokes or they feel like they lose value once you get older. They'll tell you can't get married once you get older. Ain't no man gonna want you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna tell you can't chase your dreams once you get older. You can't preach the gospel. You know what I'm saying? They try to put you on a back burner and make it seem like you have no value when you get older. But getting older is a blessing. It's not something that we should dread or be scared of or look down upon. And you can still be used in your older years, especially when you know the Lord. And there was a lot of people in the Bible that was used by God in their old age. So again, this is another thing that society comes up with this age stuff. And we think that only being young serves a purpose and that he can only, you know, that we can only do certain things in our youth, but that is a lie. It's a blessing to be young and it's a blessing to be old. Every age matters and we shouldn't knock one or the other. All ages have value and all ages have importance. I do have some other scriptures. This one is Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29. And it says, the glory of young men is their strength. Gray hair, the splendor of the old. And this stood out to me because basically, like when I looked it up, it was saying that all ages have value and importance, like I said. So basically, in your youth, you have things to offer. And when you're older, you also have things to offer. So all age serves a purpose. All age is a blessing. All ages have things to offer. All ages have a purpose. All ages offer different things in different points of our life, but both are a blessing. You know, when it says the glory of young men is their strength. When you're young, you know, as young men are always known for their strength and being strong. They always ask, you know, young men to do things. Oh, you're young and, you know, you got strength. Help me move and help me do, you know what I'm saying? So that's a known thing about young men is having strength. And then once you get older, you know, it says gray hair, the splendor of the old, right? And like I said earlier, crown of splendor means an achievement to be celebrated when you have lived a righteous life by the Lord, of course. But both serves a purpose. Even, okay, when you're young, you have your strength. You know what I'm saying? You're youthful with your strength. And when you get older, you have wisdom. Not saying that you can't have wisdom when you're young, but, you know, mainly when you're older and you've lived this life and you've walked righteous by the Lord, you have much wisdom to offer. So this lets us know that both serves a perfect purpose and both are useful in life. Both stages in life, you know, ages in life. Psalms. And we got Psalms chapter 92. Verses 12 through 15, it says, the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green, proclaiming the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no wickedness in him. Okay, I went to chapter 15. But the one that stood out with me is Psalms chapter 92, verse 14. It says, they will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green. You can still and will still bear fruit in old age. There is still a purpose for you in this world, even in your old age. You can still bear fruit. You are still useful. And everybody have this fear of getting older because they think that they will not be useful. They think they can't bear fruit. They think that they're losing value. And that is not true. Again, that is another thing that society has planted in our heads and lied to us about, because the word of God does not say it. So we have to stop this stuff. We need to embrace getting older. We need to embrace our old age and embrace our gray hair and our life from the Lord. You have purpose. You are useful. You have value. Getting older is a blessing. Aging is a blessing. But if this word is not for you, it's for somebody else. Remember, I'm telling y'all this because I love y'all. God bless.